I'm sitting here with Kevin Bobbitt, the CEO and founder of KCSSU. Kevin, can you give us just a brief summary of what KCSSU stands for and its mission and why you came up with that particular nonprofit organization and how you came up with it and some of the things that you do in the community? The name of my project is called The Community Around Shaw University, and being the KCSSU does a lot of things within the community all around Raleigh. It is surrounded by Shaw University, and there are some Shaw students that may participate in helping you sometime.
Yes, first I would like to say that my African spiritual name is Asar, Rahir Kudi Noob Neb Tahudi Amen, and I'm the founding director of KCSSU. KCSSU is Kemetic Cultural Science and System of Unity. When we say Kemetic, we're dealing with all black people of African descent, and we focus on teaching our original culture, our heritage, and the history of our great ancestors. We teach all the sciences of life, from biology, chemistry, astrology, etc. And it's a system that once we implement this system within our spirits and within our communities, it brings about the necessary unity that we need in order to attain our liberation, freedom, and independence as a people. I came up with the idea of KCSSU while I was incarcerated in federal prison. I did 9 years and 2 months for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. My whole life was one of ups and downs, basically. I was pretty smart while I was in school, but I was unable to channel my energy in a positive direction because all the curriculums that they taught was not really teaching us about who we are as a people and what we contributed to the planet Earth, to the world. While I was incarcerated, this brother had said to me one day, he said, they called me Kip, he said, "You're a smart brother." He said, "Why don't you use your time a little more wisely?" He said, "You play a lot of chess, play basketball, and read these senseless novels." And I basically responded to the brother, you know, I do what I want to do, I'm a grown man. And then he said, "Well, why don't you do something that's gonna help you, help your children, and help your family?" So that night, while I was in bed, I thought about what the brother said, and I put my pride to the side, and I said, the brother is right. So the next day, I went to the brother and I asked him what would be a good book to read, and he said, "The Miseducation of the Negro" by Carter G. Woodson. And once I read that book, I haven't looked back since. After I finished that book, I read The Message to the Black Man by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Shortly after that, I joined the Nation of Islam, and I started to get on my spiritual journey. Around a year and 3 months after that is when I finally went home all the way to Africa, when I had watched a documentary by Anthony T. Browder called The Secret, and it was talking about our ancient ancestors in Kemet and how we were the mothers and fathers of civilization. So once I started focusing and developing myself spiritually, mentally, psychologically, I started really thinking about the stream of young black boys that was entering into the prison system. And I said to myself, well, this is a trap, and we don't understand it's a trap. So when we display and exhibit certain behaviors, we think that it's coming from ourselves, when in actuality, it's being orchestrated and designed by people to keep their foot on our neck. So I immediately said, well, when I get out, I want to do everything in my power to assist and help our brothers and sisters to keep them from having to experience prison. And that's when I came up with KCSSU. I wrote out a business plan. I started sending work to one of my good friends who was helping me. And so I was released January 3rd, 2013.
So is that why CSSU to implement it into the communities to help underprivileged children as well as high-risk young males and females to help keep them off the streets, to give them something positive to look up to and positive role models?
Exactly. And one thing, as I continue to study the great works of Dr. Amos Wilson, Dr. Sheikh Anta Diop, but Baba Baruti, Baba Kamal, and other greats, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, I realized that it's a reason why they consider our children to be underprivileged and at risk, because we are put at risk by a society that doesn't have our best interests at heart. So what I said that I want our organization to do is for us to come together and plan and organize in a way that we can protect our children. We feel like that's the greatest thing that we can do, is give our children the necessary knowledge that it takes so that we don't take the wrong path, because it's like one of our great elders taught me that the system is set up in a way to funnel the young black boys and girls in a certain direction that limits their choices in life, and it either leads to death or destruction or prison.
So basically, KCSSU is not only for our youth, our children, it's also for our adults, or we as a black people ourselves. And why of all, why of all things would you call it KCSSU? What is your mission? What is your goal?
Right.
What is your statement? What is it that you see for KCSSU in the next 5 years, 10 years, or whatever?
Right. Our mission is to help to raise the level of consciousness amongst our brothers and sisters. We focus a lot on the children because it's like Baba Baruti says, if you want to change a people, you have to start with the children. You have to educate with the children. But we are here for everyone, the adults, the mothers, the queens, which we have to protect, because being that the black woman, the queen of the universe, is the first teacher, is so very important for us to understand that by them, the knowledge that they have, automatically they're going to pass it on to the children. So if they're lacking a certain knowledge, if they're lacking the knowledge of self, if they're not developed, and then basically our children aren't going to be developed. So we place a lot of emphasis on trying to help the single mothers in any way that we can by imparting the knowledge. And we also have a study group that we meet every Tuesday at the Bay New Culture Center on Poole Road. Beautiful brothers and sisters, very strong, intelligent, and dedicated and committed to the upliftment and liberation of our brothers and sisters globally. So
what are some of the things that you all have done within the community around Shaw?
Around Shaw, we've had 2 book bag drives, annual book bag drives, and this is our signature event as an organization. Last year we was able to give out 500 book bags with school supplies in it to Southeast Raleigh, the surrounding areas. It was a well put together event. We had one of my friends I grew up with, Nate McMillan. He was one of our sponsors, and this year it's going to be KCSSU and Nate McMillan. We're going to present our 3rd annual book bag drive. The atmosphere that was created was electric. It was electricity all in the air, because what we're trying to do is create an atmosphere of love, peace, and unity, which is necessary. We understand the obstacles and challenges that we have as a people, but we also understand that the only way we're going to be able to overcome these obstacles is through divine intelligence from the Creator itself. And that's why our mission is to help to raise the consciousness of our brothers and sisters from a spiritual, mental, psychological, physical, economic, and social perspective.
Okay, now Kevin, I met you when you first started this KCSSU in one of the communities that's around Shaw, which is the Raleigh North Apartments, which is basically a low-income type of environment for single moms and their children, or just single families who don't meet the low income or or just financially type incomes that's not of suitable, that's not of caliber to making a lot of money.
Right. Well, that's our foundation, our base, the Raleigh North Millbank Court Apartments. That's where we started. we have our weekly cultural awareness classes for the children, where we teach them Mayat, which is the African principle of divine love, peace, unity, order, balance, reciprocity. We also teach the children Harambe, which is an African term that means let's pull together. We teach them the importance of Sankofa, which is to reach back, go back into our history and take the best of what our ancestors left for us, the temples, the beautiful pyramids, Herm Akhet, which a lot of people know as the Sphinx, and all the knowledge and wisdom that they left for us. And we teach them Nihas, which is the great awakening, the awakening of our African spirit, so that we will have the pride and dignity that is necessary to navigate our way in this society and be successful as a people. Now, as far as other communities, we have reached out to the Washington Terrace community, like in our book bag drive, Park Glen Apartments. We're a grassroots organization because we understand that any positive movement is going to take place amongst the people who need the help the most. So our focus really is on all of our brothers and sisters, regardless of their economic status, because we've all been psychologically manipulated and damaged in a way to basically have us to reject our natural culture, our natural origin, and a lot of times this knowledge and our original culture hasn't been presented to us. So automatically, it's like Dr. Amos Wilson says, the falsification of African consciousness. Basically, where we take on a consciousness that is opposed to our very nature, and it's a system that has us where we are not at each other's throats, and we do things that are detrimental to ourselves and our communities and our families.
Okay, now how does KCSSU get their funding? Is there a website that we can go to? Is there online PayPal type of thing? Or do you have like fundraisers? If someone wanted to give to KCSSU or even come to some of your meetings or just get in touch with you to do other things and give you our donations, where would they come? And
well,
what would they go to on the website?
Well, our website is www.kcssu.org. Go to the home page. We have a donation slot where you can donate through PayPal. You can always get in touch with me. My government name is Kevin Bobbitt, and my number is 919-825-6643. We have been able to sustain ourselves through a few fundraisers, donations from family and friends, and it's been rough because we are a 501c3 organization and we're trying to get grants and sponsorship, but at the same time it's kind of tricky because of the type of organization we are, which focuses on the liberation of our people. So it's like, to take money from certain people, we understand that it might be a time when they might be like, okay, it's certain issues that you can't speak on. And our organization, our spirit is so strong where we're not going to be dictated by anybody as far as what we're going to do and what we're going to say. So probably in the future, we're probably going to have to get away from that. I was just coming out of being incarcerated for 9 years, and I was very, very ready to get out here and do everything in my power to help our brothers and sisters out because of the love that I have for our ancestors, our brothers and sisters of today, our children, our future generations. So I don't know if I jumped the gun, but I felt like that was an avenue that we had to take in order to receive the necessary funds that it would take for us to run a top flight organization. But as I have learned that it basically, even with no money, we have been able to accomplish quite a bit as far as, and still we're just scratching the surface because it's a lifetime of work that it takes for us to accomplish the goals. And like Dr. Amos Wilson and Baba Baruch and many other greats have said, that really you don't see your work till 7 generations down the line. So when we talk about the liberation, freedom, and independence of our people, we have to understand that we are a timeless people and we are immortal people, and the only thing that can ever die is the physical, but our spirit will live on forever, just as Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Dr. Martin Luther King, and many other of our great brothers and sisters, many who we've never heard of. So it's a work that we embrace, we enjoy, we do it for the love of all African people. This university right here, Shaw University, is a great institution, just as well as St. Aug and the many more black institutions that we have. And so with that being said, Anakasa Hotel.
Thank you so much, Kevin. I know that the people are gonna really tune in to you, and hopefully we'll have someone that, that can go on your website and donate some money to you, or just donate things for the children that you work with, book bags, pens, pencils, all sorts of things. And it's a blessing that you and your team is doing a lot for the community around Shaw, and not just the community around Shaw, but the community in general, that you're doing so much to help these young kids get on the right track, know their history, know where they're from, and to do better things for themselves. And that website address and that phone number again is what?
The website is www.kcssu.org, and go to the home page. And my number is 919-825-6643. And we will continue doing what we've been doing. And one thing about it, us as an African people, our spirit is strong, we are beautiful, and we are going to overcome all of this oppression that has been put on us as a people.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.